They may not be the biggest power couple in WWE, but Daniel Bryan and Brie Bella are without a doubt the most beloved couple in the wrestling business. Their humbleness and down-to-earth nature appeals to the masses and connects them to their millions of fans. Here, though, are 10 things you didn't know about Daniel Bryan and Brie Bella's relationship. Their relationship spawned from a storyline. Wrestlers are sometimes handed storylines that they despise, but have to execute them anyway. Luckily for Bryan, this one ended up being for the best. In 2010, a storyline started as the Bella twins were under the impression that Bryan was a virgin and set out on a bet to see which of the twins would take his beef farm. As ridiculous as the story was, this did indeed lead to Bryan and Brie interacting for the first time, leading to their romance. They only eat at local restaurants. Bryan and Brie are unabashedly eco-friendly and nature lovers, so is this really a surprise? Historically speaking, most wrestlers have relied on national fast food chains to get their meal fixes, but Bryan and Brie have broken this trend with their devotion to local mom-and-pop restaurants. The two prefer vegan and vegetarian options, and the hunt for spots in each town that satisfy their cravings seems to be a fun way for the two to spend time on the road together. Their first kiss is a confusing story. For most couples, their first kiss is an unforgettable event. But Bryan and Brie Danielson aren't like most couples though, as each one of them has a different version of their first kiss. According to Bryan, the two were having a nice conversation in the car when Brie just quickly said goodnight and left. According to Brie, Bryan was going on, and when she felt like the kiss wasn't coming, she left. What they both agree on though is that Bryan drove back after leaving and ran up to Brie and kissed her in the rain. Aww. Brie was jealous of Gail Kim. Love at first sight might be a nice saying, but oftentimes you don't realize that you love somebody until later on. For Brie Bella, that moment came when Bryan kissed another woman. At the conclusion of the storyline where the Bellas competed for Bryan's assumed virginity, the Bellas would catch Bryan kissing his girlfriend, Gail Kim. While the scene was kayfabe, Brie would later admit to Bryan that the image would bother her, and so the romance would begin. Bryan doesn't watch Total Divas. One of the reasons why Daniel Bryan is so beloved by wrestling fans is his honesty in interviews. A perfect example of this came when he was promoting the Total Divas reality show. When on the red carpet with his wife Brie to promote the show, Bryan admitted to an interviewer that he doesn't actually watch the show, which features his wife so prominently. And we think he's just embarrassed by his performance on that wood chopping challenge. Brie will return to the ring. While the in-ring career of Daniel Bryan may be over, he's crossed from his rematch, the wrestling career of his wife Brie is anything but. WrestleMania 32 opened with a women's tag match which featured Brie picking up the victory for her team using her husband's guest lock. This was to be her last match as Brie wanted to settle down and raise a child with Bryan, but she later stated that she is set on returning to WWE one day. Hang on to those Brie mode shirts, people. Bryan stopped a robbery at their house. Who needs superheroes and comic books when you have Daniel freaking Bryan? In 2014, shortly after having neck surgery, Bryan and Brie came home to realize that their home was in the process of being burglarized. The normally cool Bryan got naturally pissed off and chased the burglars out of the house. He caught one of them, put him in a chokehold until police arrived. The couple didn't care about losing some possessions though, but rather were worried for their dog Josie. Sheamus ruined their first intimate night together. Are you of the belief that Sheamus seems to ruin everything he touches? Well, get ready for this. During one of their first date nights, Bryan told Sheamus that he wasn't going out that night, and instead taking it easy. In reality, he went to dinner with Brie, and the two planned to get a little rated R when Sheamus drunkenly came bursting into their hotel room and ruined the moment. To be fair, Ted DiBiase Jr. is also to blame, but heck, blaming Sheamus is much more fun. Brie was stopped from celebrating with Bryan at WrestleMania 30. Daniel Bryan winning the WWE World Heavyweight Championship at WrestleMania 30 was amazing, but there was one key ingredient missing though. Wait, what was it? Oh yeah, his wife! According to Bryan though, Brie wasn't allowed to go down to the ring for some unknown reason. He would have to settle for seeing her as soon as he exited the curtain, and said that her absence from the ring was the one thing missing from making the moment perfect. Bryan mainly retired because of Brie. If it was purely up to Daniel Bryan, he would still be wrestling despite all of his health woes, whether it be in WWE or not. However, Bryan is not alone anymore. He may have been willing to risk his health to pursue his wrestling career, but Brie wasn't. Taking his wife's advice to heart and keeping in mind his desire to have a family, Bryan ultimately made the decision to retire from in-ring action for good at the age of 34. And that's it for our list. What's your favorite thing about these lovable hippies? Let us know in the comment section below, and don't forget to like, share, and see females are now just as talented as the men in WWE. But there was a time when there wasn't, and these types of wardrobe malfunctions were what male fans wanted to see most. Trish Stratus. Trish is remembered as incredibly talented in the ring, but was still one of the hottest performers of all time. She wasn't always considered as a legendary wrestler, as she was brought in as eye candy to manage Test and Albert, before getting into a relationship with Mr. McMahon when this malfunction occurred. It may look minor, but during an encounter with Stephanie McMahon, Trish's bottoms rose all the way up to one side, giving the fans a great view of her cheek. Mickie James. Fans of Mickie James will know that there are more risque photos of her on the internet, but this was still a shocking moment to see. This came during her debut storyline where she was featured as a sexual stalker of Trish Stratus. During an encounter between the pair, James's tights were pulled down a little bit, exposing her backside, much to the delight of the male audience. Cameron was never a memorable wrestler, and her career was dead in the water after her Funkadactyl role was over. But surprisingly, as a part of a multi-woman matchup, Cameron competed in a match for the WWE Women's title at WrestleMania 30. During the bout, her top came apart, and somehow she managed to finish the match while holding onto it to avoid major exposure. Dawn Marie. Dawn Marie will be remembered by most WWE fans for her feud with Tori Wilson, where she married Tori's father. How? It was a memorable storyline for all the wrong reasons, and saw the two compete in countless matches. The most memorable, again for the wrong reasons, came at Judgment Day, when Dawn was exposed to the world. Her pants were completely ripped after kicking out of a pin, and it gave the world a nice, long view at her backside. Caitlyn came into the WWE at the wrong time, as she was much more suited for today's treatment of women. She was a solid wrestler and had an amazing rivalry for the then Divas Championship with AJ Lee. During one of their matches, Caitlyn chased AJ off and was left on her knees in the ring. Unfortunately, her breasts didn't want to stay in her shirt, as one quickly popped out before she covered them back up again. AJ Lee. This one could be considered quite tame, especially after what we saw in the Attitude Era, but for the PG era, this was quite shocking. AJ was portraying the typical crazy girl gimmick that WWE loves, but was still beloved by everyone in the WWE universe. During a match on an episode of Monday Night Raw, AJ's top got pushed up and her bra was exposed, sending fans into a frenzy. Eve Torres. Eve entered the WWE off her performance in Diva Search and turned it into a good career, improving all the time as an in-ring performer. She even managed to win the Divas Championship and was one of the top in-ring performers of her time. She probably wouldn't want fans to remember this, however, as her crotch was exposed to the world while in a winning position. Stephanie McMahon. Stephanie McMahon has been covered thoroughly on this topic, but this is one malfunction of a different kind. Though no one can be sure, there was certainly a suspicious stain on the back of a fan's dress when she left the building at Payback 2014. Stephanie has had her fair share of embarrassing moments throughout her career, but this is one of the worst, as it was incredibly obvious, especially with her color of dress. Ivory. This one came right in the heart of the Attitude Era, where nudity and inappropriate happenings were the norm. Ivory and Deborah collided after a match between D'Lo Brown and Jeff Jarrett, which featured a momentary wardrobe malfunction from Ivory. She pulled Deborah down by the hair and her right breast popped out of her attire, before being immediately covered up by Brown and Jarrett. Jacqueline was fierce and one of the most legit tough athletes in WWE history, having to actually tone down her style to work with some of the other women on the roster. She also had a knack for losing her top in front of the WWE Universe. During a dance contest against Sable, Jacqueline's breast popped out, exposing her chest to the crowd for the second